Tenitzu here, and today we'll be getting into part 3 of What If Naruto Was an Otsutsuki. For part 4, it's 20 likes again, but without further ado, let's just get straight into part 3. Now for the start, we'll just have a little recap of part 2. Naruto was put into a team with Hinata Hyuga and Sasuke Uchiha, and they were able to beat Kakashi, who was holding back of course, with their teamwork, then passing and living their lives. In the Hokage office, the bridge builder had requested a mission, and the team had now helped the man arrive at his hut after battling two Chunin-level fighters and even outsmarting the legendary Zabuza. Now the team was going to fight both Zabuza and his subordinate Haku. Alright, now that we have all that done, let's just get straight into the more interesting bits. Naruto was flying at Haku at incredible speeds and hit him right in the ribcage, breaking it all over with a single punch. Ow. I'll hurt you. And Naruto jumped at him again with a kick right into the face, the mask shattering, and so did Haku's nose. Naruto stopped before attacking him again and asked, "Wait, Haku?" Yes, in surprise. The orange chakra slowly disappearing from his body, but the whitish blue aura still around him. But that aura seemed to calm him down. It had a fatherly nature to it, making him way calmer than before, as he suddenly heard a lightning sound and turned around only to see Haku speeding towards Zabuza, and as Kakashi flung himself at Zabuza, Haku jumped in front of him and died with a smile as he was able to protect Zabuza. Zabuza was silent as he jumped back, Kakashi following right on his tail, but he seemed to be looking for someone. There, Gato appeared on the bridge with his men and kicked Haku with his foot. "He's really dead, huh? A tool to the very end." He and his men laughed, and Zabuza, unknowingly to anyone, grimaced. "You bastard! What do you think you're doing?" Naruto was furious about this and ran toward Gato, but Kakashi stopped him. Then Naruto shouted, "You! You say something too!" He shouted at Zabuza. "He was your comrade, right?" To which Zabuza coolly replied, "Shut up, punk." Haku was already dead. "But weren't you with Haku for a long time?" Naruto said with anger in every word. "As Gato used me, I was simply using Haku. What we shinobi are tools. What I wanted were his skills, and not Haku himself. I have no regrets." So was said, and as Naruto paused, until suddenly replying, Do you really mean that?" Kakashi tried to tell Naruto to stop, and how they did not need to fight Zabuza anymore, but Naruto brushed it off. "Shut up, my enemy is still this one." He pointed at Zabuza, breathing heavily, then went on, He really liked you. He liked you that much. Even so, you don't feel anything at all? You really, honestly, don't feel anything at all? When a person becomes as strong as you, does that person really behave like you? He threw his life away for you. He didn't even fulfill his dream yet. And yet, to die as a tool, that's just messed up. Zabuza passed, but teardrops were falling from his eyes. "Kid, don't say anymore. Haku he wasn't just thinking of me. He was feeling pain inside for you while he battled you guys too. I know. He was too kind. I'm glad we could fight you at the end." He removed the bandages covering his mouth, then asked, "Kid, throw me that kunai knife." With which Naruto complied, and Zabuza caught it with his mouth. Then, tears falling from his eyes, killed every single member Gato had with him, until taking out Gato at the end. Returning from killing Gato and his men, Zabuza lay down next to Haku in his final moments, wishing he could go to the same place as Haku. Then Zabuza perished. Naruto, who was still crying a little, wiped away his tears and buried Zabuza and Haku next to each other on the hill, with a typical shinobi grave and a flower planted on each of their graves. The next few days went by smoothly as the bridge was completed. Kakashi agreed not to tell anyone about Tazuna lying about the mission's true rank, and the team moved out, with Naruto waving goodbye to the family until he was out of sight, then continuing to walk back normally. The journey back home went smoothly as well, and they arrived back home safely. Back in the village, their rather boring life as ordinary genin continued, until one day Kakashi told them about the Chunin exams, making Naruto very happy, so he went to the hot springs to celebrate a little, where he met a rather weird-looking man. The man had very spiky, long white hair, and strange red marks on his face, but Naruto thought little of it until he saw what the man was doing. Apparently, he had made a small hole to the woman's side, where he was now looking through. Of course, Naruto, being the very formal and rule-abiding man that he was, instantly rushed towards Jiraiya and started peeking with him as well, and talking about which girls they found most attractive, until the lady who owned these hot springs came in and threw both of them out, after hitting them on the head with a broom, of course. As they were thrown out, Naruto and Jiraiya began to laugh loudly, and then started talking with each other. And Jiraiya noticed it instantly. He felt something familiar about the boy. Not only was he similar in general, but his chakra signature almost felt the same, but also not. It was quite intriguing, but there was no doubt about this in any way. This boy was the son of the fourth, so he asked him, "Hey boy, how about you train with me? You told me about those tuning exams, and I think you'd do way better if you had someone as strong, as intelligent, as cool as me to teach you." Naruto nodded in excitement as Jiraiya had told him a bit about who he was and everything. So they shook hands, agreeing that they would come back here another time to see if the hope was still there. Now we'll skip ahead to the first stage of the Chunin exams, that of course being the written test. Now as Naruto is a lot smarter in this, he was actually able to fill out the questions with ease. In fact, and to his surprise, was actually the fastest ever fully correct completion in the history of this test, making him incredibly proud of himself. But in reality, he had only just read these books the day before because Jiraiya was thinking out loud about what the topics for the answers could be. But that was of no concern, as he still got the fastest time either way, so they got a week off before the next test. Of course, Sasuke was slightly mad that Naruto outclassed him, and with such ease, so he started reading more as well. And when Naruto saw this, he started reading more as well, actually trading his Sharingan in the process, as he was using it to read the books faster and intake a lot more information than he could regularly, which made him even more interested as he actually found these books to be quite entertaining. He was actually just reading them this entire week. Though sometimes in the afternoons he did train heavily with Jiraiya, then went straight back to reading. Eat ramen, read, fall asleep, and repeat. But for now, let's just get into the second stage of the exam. Now, the first part of it goes exactly as canon, with everyone showing up to the forest entrance and Anko explaining the test, then giving everyone their scrolls, and then they were off. Now everything seemed to be going quite well, as Naruto's team was not at all ambushed, but suddenly, as Naruto went out to take a pee, there was an attempted ambush on him by a gigantic snake, and he was almost eaten, but he jumped back, quickly putting his pants back on, then getting serious. Suddenly, that calming whitish blue chakra enveloped the boy again, and his gaze turned from surprise and anger to one of calm and collectedness, as suddenly he flew at the snake and punched it so hard that it actually flew back a little, and, after Naruto just kept on pummeling it, it fainted, and Naruto could go back to help his team. And what he discovered there shocked him a little, as he saw Sasuke fighting a man, also standing on a snake, whilst Hinata stood there paralyzed in fear, and out of nowhere, one of the snakes headed straight for Hinata, who closed her eyes, seemingly accepting death, but suddenly she saw a light source moving at incredible speeds, from far away to right in front of her, and as she opened her eyes, there stood Naruto, a look of calm still on his face, as he pummeled the snake until it fainted as well. Orochimaru was awestruck by this kid's power, and quickly changed focus from Sasuke to this kid. With this kid's body, he could become so strong. But he still had a backup plan if that failed, so he stretched his neck. And while sustaining a stab wound to the neck from Sasuke, was still able to bite Sasuke on the neck, leaving a mark, and Sasuke fainting. Hinata, who felt a sudden burst of energy to prove herself after seeing what Naruto had just done, ran to where Sasuke was falling, as Naruto flew at Orochimaru and the battle began. Not only was Naruto now boosted by that fire-like chakra, but an orange chakra seemed to be swelling up as well, as the calm nature of the whitish chakra seemed to clash with the angry nature of the orange one, until finally harmonizing, creating a light orange aura on Naruto, and as he punched the man on top of the snake, and withdrew something right from his well, the man was flung into a tree, completely destroying it in the process. But as Orochimaru was a member of the Sannin, he wasn't going to die by the hands of a mere genin, so he made him leave, sadly having to leave Naruto behind, but at least he had gotten a curse mark on Sasuke. Suddenly Naruto jumped towards Sasuke and picked him up, then pulled out a white scroll and smirked at Hinata. "I got this from that dude after punching him." Hinata smiled as well, as Naruto picked her up as well, making her faint of course, and then sped toward the tower. Now I hope you all enjoyed this part. If you did, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe, but without further taking up your time, this was Tenitzu and I am out. Peace.